Welcome back to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today at Branston Golf and Country Club. Today's video is all going to be about lowering the ball flight when you're into the wind. Stay tuned to find out more. As mentioned, today's video is going to be about lowering the ball flight when you need to. So we've got a lovely summer's day here, but it is really windy. It's a warm wind, so it's probably better than a cold, chilly winter wind, but it is a warm wind and it is into me as well here. So what I'm talking about is actually lowering the flight of the drive and what we can do about that. And I'm really picking on the woods when we talk about this, because there's going to be a couple of setup changes that I'd make different to the irons. The first thing is, where do we want to strike the ball on the club face? How high should we be teeing it? Those sort of things. So we want the ball to be striking the center of the golf club always. But if we're going to be either way, we are better hitting it slightly higher in the head. Now that will actually increase the launch, but it will lower the backspin. When we strike the ball lower in the golf club, so when the CG location of the golf ball strikes below the center of the golf club, we will, yes, lower the launch, but we'll increase the spin. And it's the spin that really kills us in the wind. So when we hit that shot where it's ballooning upwards, that's the one that's really going to affect us. So we want to take the spin off. So we could drop the tee height down a little bit, but I'd look at your strike location, because I want it to be center or still slightly higher than center, not moving too far down the golf club. So if you peg that ball too low and we start hitting out at the bottom of the golf club, we are going to start to see those more upshooters that increase the spin. So do be aware where you strike it. We are better hitting it a little bit nearer the toe than the heel, but again, I'd be aiming for the center here. Out the toe of the golf club, we will produce an axis tilt to the left, effectively more hook spin, and that will help that ball flight through the wind as well. The worst place we could hit it would be low and heel, and that's where we start to see that ball uprising and potentially losing out to the right as well. When we are into the wind, any movement we put on the ball will be exaggerated there, so we have to be a little straighter. We have to try and at least be a little bit straighter. So I've teed the ball a similar height, maybe just a fraction down, but not much. A couple other changes I'm going to make to lower that ball flight. I am going to move that ball just a touch further back in my stance. So I'd normally play the driver ball position opposite. I'll just make sure I'm actually right angles this camera line, so that's a better view for you, opposite my lead heel, or just inside my left heel. So what I'm going to do is just move it so it is a ball and a half further back in my stance, and it just feels like when I do that my sternum is a little bit more over the top of the golf ball. I'm not quite so tilted behind it. So I've just moved that ball that little bit further back, and I'm just trying to feel like my sternum is closer to the ball. It is still behind, but I'm not trying to tilt behind it quite so much as I would do in a drive where I'm trying to get maximum launch and really fly that ball way up in the air. So I've just moved that ball a touch further back, and the things I'm going to change, I'm going to grip a little lower down the handle. I'm going to swing the golf club a little bit easier. You've heard people say when it's breezy, swing it easy. What it does is when you're swinging it slower, you put less spin on it. Less spin will bore through the wind better. So we are going to just take off a few miles an hour there, just so we can try and lower that spin rate. In terms of a swing, so all I've changed here is my ball position. I potentially grip that club that little bit lower. I'm trying to feel like my sternum is more over the top of the golf ball. The one thing I'm trying to feel in the swing is really feel like I rotate better around my lead leg. I do not want to be hitting this shot from here, so I want to feel like I'm a little bit taller, a little bit more over the top of the golf ball, or at least over my lead side. So I'm just trying to feel like I turn my chest a little bit more over my lead foot. Let me see if I can go ahead and flight this a little lower for you into this wind. So my target line that you may well see from this downline camera is those two tall popular trees. I'm just going to move that ball that little bit further back in my stance. I've gripped just a touch lower. I'm going to swing it easier, and I just want to feel like I rotate a little bit more over my left side. I'm definitely not behind the ball on this one. Let me give it a go. Oh, I couldn't have hit that better. I feel very rotated over my lead side here, nice and tall. I had a real bullet low ball flight straight at those two tall poplar trees there, really feeling like I was a little bit more over the top of it here rather than hitting it behind. I got that bullet ball flight nice and low, and it actually got up there pretty close to the green. What are we, 270 yards away, but we're into quite a strong wind here, so keeping that ball low was a real advantage for me, still getting distance even though I'm hitting the ball into a wind. I know that tip's going to help you next time you're playing in strong wind conditions, keeping that driver that little bit lower when you need to. If you did enjoy the content video, give us a thumbs up. Let me know how you get on with it. It's great to hear from you guys. If you can post some comments and questions below, and do check us out on all our social media info is coming along the bottom of the screen right now. Thanks guys, we'll see you soon.